Good morning. Merry Christmas Eve to everyone. Looks like it's a little bright, so let me see if I can help you guys out a little bit. Merry Christmas Eve to everyone. Hopefully everyone has gotten all their shopping done. I know for me, Christmas Eve is one of the best days for me to get my Christmas shopping done. But I wanted to take just a few minutes, and Carlos should probably be joining us here shortly, just to give you a couple quick Merry Christmas Eve follow-up tips, and then we'll get you guys back to your holiday. Promise we won't take long. What I have on my screen here is contact types. So using different contact types when you're trying to follow up with people is obviously very important. And I wanted to share, this is something those of you who have joined us before, but there's more than one way to reach out to someone, right? Email, snail mail, phone, text, social, it's all on the table. And so if you look at this this graph here, it shows you that there's 20% of emails are open, 98% of text messages are open, 29% of tweets are ever read, and then 12% of Facebook posts are read. But I also want to make sure that you don't lose sight of something that I think is very important, and that's the telephone. That's the telephone, man. I mean, I can't tell you how often people just don't call, right? They just don't pick up the telephone and call. And sometimes that's the difference between getting a deal done and not getting a deal done. And so it's real important to understand that, don't avoid the telephone. Like the telephone is something that that is old fashioned and it works. Sometimes just picking up the telephone will get a deal done. So you can see, though, the effectiveness of particularly emails, like, sending emails, you have to follow up, right? You have to have at least a triple set approach to following up. If you're going to send an email, maybe send a text and say, hey, I just sent you an email, and then maybe make a call. But it's also important to understand the social aspect. So if someone is on social media and they're on social media, of course, there's DMs, things of that nature. So, you've got multiple ways in order to reach out to them. And so that's why it's important to utilize all the channels that you've got, because you see that graph there and kind of what it shows. But I've always had the multi-prong approach. I've always hit them at least three ways, right? Call, text, email has typically been the way, because some people don't like email. Some people won't read email. Some people only want text messaging. And then some people only want telephone calls. So it's important to try to meet people, meet them where they're at, right? Meet them where they're at, where they prefer to communicate. And make sure that you benefit from that standpoint. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about this morning real quickly, and then again, I'm going to get you guys off to your Merry Christmas Eve. Let me change my screen over to just a few tips to help your follow-up. So give me a second here, guys, and I will share with you the other tab. And that is dealing with 6 practices that will make your follow-up stand out. 6 practices that will make your follow-up stand out. The first one is practice the 3 Ps, right? Be prompt, proactive, and also be patient. Prompt. So here's the deal. Listen, if you say you're going to do something, or you say you're going to follow up with someone, do it. Be on time. If you meet somebody, you get their business card. Be proactive. Send them an email, send them a text, and say, hey, nice meeting you. Let's set up some time to chat in the future. And then, of course, be patient, understanding that they may not necessarily respond right away, and that's okay, because you're going to follow up with them anyway. Second is start and engage in meaningful conversations. So one of the ways that that I try to do this is on social media, right? Tag a post, like a post, drop some comments. Find some commonalities, whether it be groups or some of my friends, and then have some good, meaningful conversations. That certainly helps, break the ice, build the relationship, help people get to know me. So it's another good one. Find and embrace the unexpected and outrageous. Delivering good or great follow-up and service is expected and considered subpar. So understanding that good and great, while it's expected, most people consider it to be subpar in terms of the follow-up. And that's because most of us just don't do it, right? I think if we took a poll of people that deal with business and you ask what percent of the people actually follow up on things that they say they're going to do, we're going to find it's pretty low. And the result really is the result, right? The result of your follow-up is the results. Your level of success really determine how successful you are at following up. Demonstrate mindfulness and gratitude. Some of the most undervalued and powerful qualities are respect, humility, and kindness. Think about how things impact you and make them on a regular part of your relationship activities as well. So demonstrating some mindfulness, some gratitude, some humility, always very helpful. Let's go and move on. Number 5, be selective, strategic, and persistent, and respect people's time. And when it's time to step away, step away. When it's time to move on, move on. That goes back to the first one, which is patience, understanding that, give people some time to respond. If they say they're uninterested, then maybe it's a matter of, are you interested today? Maybe in the future. Just respect their time and their wishes, and so on and so forth. And then the last one, number 6, is remember to hear. And what that says is also remember to hear. Hear stands for making sure you practice humility, engaging people, being authentic, and responding whenever possible. So understand that humility is a genuine characteristic that people identify with, right? Humbling ourselves, being a very engaging person, authentic, and then responding whenever possible. And that's the key, right? We're talking about follow-up every Friday, and it always has to do with responding, right? I had a person who this is a while ago, wanted to come work for one of the companies I worked for, set up an appointment to come do that, and then never showed up and never responded, never said anything at all, and all it takes is a second to respond, right? That shows a lot about maybe that person's character, their business, or maybe where they were at that point in time, and that's okay. But the key is it only takes a second to respond. And I leave you today with a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year upcoming, and then also remember, most importantly, that today is a great day to use this database, this walking database that we all possess today. There's probably 40 people, family, friends, post, current customers, bosses, realtors, whoever. There's probably 40 people that would love to hear from you today. Say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. There's probably 40 people. Send out or call at least 40 people today or this weekend, and you'll see the response and the results of that. Well, that's all I have, guys. Thanks so much. Merry Christmas, and have a safe holiday.